Love and hate, a theme that has been explored quite a lot, right? I mean, mainly in rom-coms or shoujo genres, or basically in those kinds of Chinese drama series that my girlfriend loves to watch. So I suddenly thought, is there an anime that I like that has this love-hate element? Probably not. Oh, right, I even forgot about these two. Hello, dreamers. It's great to see you again at the Theory Hub, where we talk about things that definitely will never happen, but at least it's interesting. What do you think about a film featuring a cold, dominant male spy having a tragic love affair with a scientist girl who betrays the organization? Sounds strange yet familiar, right? If so, join me in today's theory. Could Gin and Haibara be ex-lovers? To talk a bit about Jin, he is a high-ranking member of the Black Organization. He appeared from the very first episodes of Detective Conan and is the cause of almost every event in the story. He is the one who gave Conan the shrinking drug that turned him into a primary school student, and from there, led to his connection with Mori Kogoro and all subsequent events. From his appearance, you can tell that Gin exudes an extremely frightening aura. Dressed entirely in black, with sharp, cold eyes, the decisive gestures, and a clear display of cruelty. The most distinctive feature to identify Gin is his hair. Well, actually, in Conan, the only way to identify a character is through their hair, because Aoyama doesn't seem to do well in drawing faces as everyone looks the same. Jin's hair is light blonde and long, making him look quite like an emo. I don't know if Gin really has any psychological issues, but working in a secretive, clandestine organization and keeping such an appearance would make him stand out in any crowd. He even drives a Porsche 356A, a car that is both expensive and rare. If we consider it from the perspective of a hidden criminal, a stealthy assassin, or anything like that, I wouldn't rate his professional ability very highly. Jin always seems like a lazy person. He doesn't pay much attention to physical actions. Mainly, his job is to command subordinates, to carry out tasks like chasing or assassinating. And he only takes action when the situation is critical or when vodka messes up. The other character we need to talk about here is Haibara, Shiho Miyano, or Sherry. Like Gin, Sherry is also the name of a type of alcohol. This is a type of fortified wine made from white grapes grown in Spain. Initially very dry, but then developing a bit of sweetness. This is clearly not a coincidence. The nature of this wine reflects Sherry's personality throughout her development in the series. From a reserved, cold, indifferent person who always seems aloof and skeptical, after interacting with friends, she shows herself to be caring, considerate, and self-sacrificing. Sherry is also the one who created APDEX 4869, the drug that started the entire series and caused hundreds of deaths in just 6 months. I don't mean because it's a poison, but because it created a child who encounters murders everywhere he goes. After betraying the organization, Sherry became the most hunted individual. And for such significant matters, of course, the one who would hunt her down is none other than Gin. Although he is a cold-blooded person, a killing machine, Gin is desperately pursuing Haibara to kill her. But that's in theory. In reality, it seems quite the opposite. In all their encounters, Gin seems to show hesitation. Like the time they met on the rooftop with his experienced shooting skills, Gin could easily have shot Haibara in the forehead when she was completely defenseless. Yet all Gin did was fire random shots that only hit non-fatal spots that were easy to recover from. And eventually, Conan shot him from behind, causing him to lose his prey. According to Conan Drill, a special publication that explains everything in Detective Conan, the relationship Gin has for Sherry, it's described as abnormal attachment, while all Haibara feels for Gin is hatred. Haibara's hatred is clear as day, but what about abnormal attachment? Could it be that the two had a relationship beyond just being colleagues? Another character in the Black Organization, Wehrmouth, also has a deep relationship with both Haibara and Gin. According to Conan Drill, the relationship between Gin and Vermouth is described as goodwill rather than love, along with sexual relations and activity partner, suggesting that these two only sought each other out for physical needs. But regarding Haibara, there's a big love affair, making us really question this complex relationship. So why would Gin love Sherry and not Vermouth? Let's look at these two women from Gin's perspective. Remember, the code names of the agents in the organization are not randomly chosen. Gin is a type of liquor created from a medieval herb. And the character Gin himself likes classic things, elegance, art appreciation, driving a classic car, being stunned for 5 seconds when hearing an opera voice, speaking in poetic metaphorical language, and loving beauty. Gin and Vermouth seem to have nothing in common. The girl for someone like Gin to love must be unique and worthy of his respect. Sherry fits this description. In the Conan Drill, Gin highly values Sherry's research role. She has a genius mind that Gin himself admits. And though she is cold, she is very affectionate and warm. Reddish brown hair that is quite rare and stands out no less than Jin's. And both of them, despite having distinctive features, never hide their hair or dye it. These two meet at many noteworthy points, but do not hide. Do not bow when exhausted. Do not submit, or to put it bluntly, are quite stubborn, determined, arrogant, but always have certain principles and love beauty. Gin himself is often obsessed with the color red, similar to Sherry's red hair, and also the red that appears whenever he thinks of her. With Vermouth, there really is no common ground with Gin. He somewhat despises and looks down on her for her pretense, and Vermouth has never lived truly with her real face. In an SDB page, talking about Gin's personal information and love life, it's still an image of a naked Sherry from behind. And Gin always remembers Sherry this way, which doesn't repeat with any other woman. In the manga volume 24, after having a nightmare about Gin, when Haibara and Conan go to school and accidentally see Gin's luxury car, then Gin discovers a brownish red hair in the car along with Conan's transmitter and eavesdropping device. He immediately identifies it as Sherry's doing. Just by a hair strand, he can immediately recognize her. This cannot be a trivial relationship. Just because of a few strands of hair left on the chimney, Gin recognized Sherry when she emerged from the chimney and was shot by Gin in the shoulder. Killing someone in that filthy chimney is fine, but let me give you a more beautiful death. Quite contradictory, when a cold-blooded, decisive person like Gin, who kills in the blink of an eye and doesn't care about the name or face of the victim, wants to give Sherry such a romantic death. Not to mention the scene was a cold, snowy night. Gin patiently waiting for Haibara to come out of the chimney. A very romantic scene for a date, and having someone waiting for another. Gin didn't kill her coldly like he did with Pisco, another member of the organization. He was very hesitant in his actions and repeatedly let Haibara escape. Both of these always avoid when asked about their relationship with each other. They have no common ground and are not the type Gin likes. Yet there was once Vermouth seemed jealous and sarcastically said, "You seem to care about that girl a lot." The author also admitted that there was an ambiguous relationship between Vermouth and Gin. Vermouth seemed to have feelings for Gin, but it was definitely one-sided. Gin's special treatment of Sherry is too obvious, and because of this, Vermouth tried to kill Sherry at all costs. Typical in episode 178, Gin ordered to capture Sherry alive and bring her to the organization. But Vermouth secretly tried to kill her by setting a bomb to blow Sherry to pieces. Another detail is that Gin often thinks of Sherry in a nude form. I don't know, but it basically defines perversion, right? Maybe they were very compatible partners in sexual matters, even more than with Vermouth. So every time Gin thinks of Sherry, His mind is always filled with that image. Can't blame him because, after all, Gin is still a man, right? And that's our entire theory about, could Gin and Haibara be ex-lovers? Sounds interesting, right? If you like our theory, press 1. If you disagree with anything, please comment below so we can discuss. And I am Lander. Wish you all a good day.